capable of over 20,000 blocks of range, speeds of over 300 blocks per second, and most importantly, an infinite supply of wind charges. This is my boat launcher V2, and unlike V1, this one handles the wind charges for you. By using a breeze to automate wind charge production, I've turned my original expensive to use boat launcher into a highly capable long distance transport method that costs pretty much nothing to use. So how fast and how far can we go exactly? Well, you can get up to 5 stacks of charges in a single cycle, which lets you travel 313 blocks per second and go a distance of 23,500 blocks, though this distance may vary a little bit. Additionally, you won't have to deal with traveling off axis with this design, as long as your boat is not positioned right at 0, on the X and Z axes. But this isn't the limit. You may be able to get faster and further by charging the launcher up again on top of the previous cycle. The speed limit on Bedrock Edition is 320 blocks per second, so by charging the boat launcher up again, you may be able to go pretty close to the speed limit. And since we have a breeze loading our launcher for us, we only need to supply a boat and either sand or gravel to explode the wind charges. So with all of that information aside, let's build this boat launcher. You'll need to clear out a 3x10x6 block space, and you'll need these materials. You can find the full list in the description. You'll also need an iron golem and a breeze for this. Getting the breeze may be a bit tricky, but the easiest method is by using invisibility potions and a minecart track, and triggering the spawner. Once the breeze is in the minecart, you can easily bring the breeze wherever you want using rails. Let's start this boat launcher by placing 4 scaffolding in the corner. Then place a block with a rail on top, and make sure the rail is sideways like so. Then place 2 blocks on either end, and place a minecart on the rail. Then place another 2 blocks on the side like so. Now place 2 redstone dust on top, and a block right next to the redstone. Then place a redstone torch, and a dispenser on top. Now place a repeater next to the dispenser, an observer facing the repeater, and a block behind the observer. Now place a block above the minecart, a stair block above the dispenser, and 2 signs on either side. Now place 2 glass blocks like so, and an iron trapdoor in the middle with carpet on top. Then waterlog the stairs. 3 blocks away from the scaffolding, place a backwards L shape of blocks like so. Place a repeater in the middle and give it 2 additional ticks of delay. Place a target block behind it, and a block right next to the target block. Now place a redstone torch like so, with a copper bulb on top. Now place a comparator reading the bulb, and another one on the lower block like so. Then place 2 redstone on the side blocks, and a piston on the target block. Then place a block with redstone on top like so. Now place a block on the bottom with redstone on top, a block next to the redstone, and another 2 blocks like so. Then place an upwards facing dropper with a hopper funneling into it. Now place a repeater on the hopper, glass next to the dropper, a block next to the repeater, and redstone on top of the glass. Then place string next to the block, and place an observer watching the string. Now place glass like so, a block next to the redstone with glass on top, another glass block like so, and place an iron trapdoor underneath. Then place a couple glass blocks on the side, and now place 2 blocks like so with redstone on top. Then place a redstone torch underneath. Now place 2 glass blocks on the side, powdered snow in the middle, then a sticky piston, and then a regular piston like so. Then place an observer on the piston, a block next to the piston, and 2 more blocks on the side. Then place a block next to the observer, and place redstone on these 2 blocks. Now place a button on the side like so, and place a repeater in front of the observer facing the redstone and give it a maximum delay. Our copper bulb is currently on, so go to the dropper on the side and place in some items. Take them out, and then put them back in to turn the bulb off. The number of items you put in the dropper will be how many wind charges you get, so feel free to add more here, but make sure not to add more than 5 stacks. Now we can make our golem. This part is relatively easy, as you can just push the golem into the minecart and it'll be perfectly in place. For our breeze, set up a little track from the holding chamber, then send the breeze in by either pushing it or using a powered rail. Now you can get rid of all the rails, including the one under the breeze, then place a glass block to seal the chamber. And finally, place one redstone on this block right here, which will connect everything together. And with that, we're done with our boat launcher. Before you use this thing, make sure that you have the correct number of items in the side dropper so you get the amount of wind charges that you want. As mentioned before, you can put up to 5 stacks of items in here, but remember that it will take longer for the launcher to charge up the more items you put in. Now go to the front and place a boat in the dispenser, then go up the scaffolding and interact with the repeater. The boat should dispense, and you'll see wind charges being put in stasis above the piston. You can get in the boat and wait for the cycle to finish. And once it's done, the wind charges will get pushed right up against the boat. And now you can fire the launcher by either placing sand or gravel on the block in front, which will cause the wind charges to explode. In this run, the launcher was loaded with 5 stacks of wind charges, so I'll end up traveling over 23,000 blocks at about 313 blocks per second. However, if you want to go some other distances, here's a rough table with the number of wind charges to distances I've gotten in my tests. Expect roughly these numbers, though it may not be exact. Also, if you're on a device that can't load chunks fast enough, try lowering your render distance and looking straight up. Also, putting a pig on the boat and sitting on the pig instead may also help you from losing altitude. Thank you to these commenters for bringing these methods to my attention. And as I mentioned before, you may be able to travel even further if you simply run another cycle by interacting with the repeater again, once the machine has finished its previous cycle. Just make sure the dispenser is empty so you don't get another boat. And that was my boat launcher V2, but we're still not done yet. There's still room for improvement, and there will be a V3. V1 and V2 are purposely made compact, but V3 will have no such restrictions. So if you want to see an even crazier boat launcher, subscribe to get notified when that comes out. Also, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or feedback, leave a comment or join my Discord server, which is the fastest way to reach me. With that, thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.